Hello and welcome to Car Nerd Central. Let's get on with this week's news. Let's start with one big news. Porsche has showcased its new Cayenne EV and uh, interesting stuff. It's based on the PP architecture. Uh, the turbo has an oil-cooled motor at the rear, 113 kilowatt hour of battery. Range and horsepower has not been revealed yet, but we are expecting it will be more than 1,000 horsepower. But the most interesting part of this car is the interior. And I really want to talk about the interior. So Porsche has gone screens galore on this car, and and the center screen is bent in the middle, or you could say has a slight curve to it. So one of the reasons why I would have let go electric cars with larger screens is because when you are charging, you can easily watch Netflix or any entertainment app that you want to see in the center screen, and it's there, and there could be a practical use of it. Now everything that we see would be bent on that screen, or it would be too small. And then there is a separate passenger screen as well. Although Porsche says that the lower part of the curved screen would be used for widgets and all, but the things that they showcase, for example, the map is also somehow bent, and then the game they are playing is also on the curved lower part of the screen. So it would just be one distorted image which would feel like this, and I don't know how to feel about it. I think Porsche was a company which I believed was more focused on how the car drives rather than all these gimmicks, but they have just overdone themselves this time. And then lastly, there are some. What are your opinions on the screen before I get into the weird aero editions?
Uh, I personally don't have a problem with the center screen. It is fine. They try to do something new. Everybody gives a big screen, a large screen, a rotating screen. Porsche thought maybe let's give a bent screen. Maybe Samsung inspired them. I don't know what they did. Anyway, I the problem I have, and not just with Porsche, but with every other car manufacturer these days, is the passenger screen. Why do you have to give a passenger screen? And
It's
especially in this Porsche, the aspect ratio, it's I don't know, maybe a 30:9 aspect ratio, a 3:1 aspect ratio, and that there's going to be thick bars on both sides when
on
the
whatever
passenger is
seat.
trying to watch
Exactly.
content. They should rather use it as a canvas to display good materials or some art or some good upholstery, some good workmanship. But
And that
yeah,
works with a product which is pitched as a luxury product. And we have seen
yeah.
other like luxury manufacturers have been doing that sort of a thing uh, since long back. And now everyone just wants to get away with that thing and just put a screen in front of you, and it serves no purpose. I have personally used a lot of cars with these screens, and I have never found myself using the passenger side display.
I think talking about the bent screen, uh, remember the last gen Audi interiors? They had two
Exactly.
split.
Yes.
Yeah. So that would have been a better implementation of using that lower screen as a
Thing.
uh, widget thing and having an upper screen. But I mean, it's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but maybe that could have been a better way.
There could have been a better way. That way was invented years back. It's called buttons. So,
Yeah. I mean,
another
they still
weird thing.
boasted about having buttons.
There are a few buttons. I think they have given a few
Yeah.
buttons for the climate control, but it's still, and the even the widget screen. There are so many options on that widget screen. Just give us that many buttons and we'll be happy. Yeah, older Porsches used to have a lot more buttons, and everyone was happy, even though everyone complained that there were too many buttons. but now we want too many buttons and we want lesser screens in our cars.
Yeah.
Another weird thing with the Cayenne EV is the aero. So a lot of manufacturers have been giving these fake vents at the back, but this is for the first time that I have seen those fake vents being used. So there's I would say a plastic piece that comes out of these vents to improve the aero of the car. I don't like the look of the aero additions at the rear when they are expanded, but I think if they are helping with the efficiency of the car, it's fine. You won't be able to see it while driving, and while it's stocked, they'll be inside anyway. So, but interesting car. I thought that Porsche was not scaling back on EVs, but we have the Cayenne EV now.
Porsche was not scaling back or was scaling back?
Was scaling back on EV.
Yeah, it was scaling back on the higher than Cayenne, uh,
Yes, the flagship SUV. I think it
the
would be
flagship SUV.
the K1
Yeah.
model, I think.
Moving on to news from the same family, the Volkswagen family. Uh, Bentley has teased a new car. Maybe it maybe is the new Continental GT SuperSport. It is expected to make a comeback with a focus on lighter components and rumored to have rear wheel drive V8 powered version. It is going to be a rear wheel drive V8 powered version. Uh, it is believed that it will ditch the hybrid system of the GT Speed, and it will feature a 640 plus horsepower twin turbo 4-liter engine, carbon fiber bodywork, a revised aerodynamic package, and an Akrapovic exhaust. This is the only special thing that I think this car will have. Other than that, everything else is meh. Mm, what are your thoughts?
Again, the old Bentley Continental GT Supersport. For reference, Bentley has not said that it is the Supersport. It's just we are expecting that it will be a thing like the Supersport. So the last
Hmm.
Supersport came out in 2018, and that car still had all-wheel drive and it had the W12 engine. Uh, but it still had very few weight savings. I don't think Bentley customers are looking for a lighter weight Bentley. But I'm all for a car which is uh, completely powered by a V8 engine and is also rear wheel drive. I'd be very into a rear wheel drive Bentley, I guess.
Yeah,
I think that would be the major part of their weight savings is to get rid of the hybrid system.
yeah, yeah. I think the components would add up to maybe 40% of the weight savings, and the hybrid system will add up to 60% of the weight savings. So
I think
yeah,
the hybrid system
and
would add up to
now that
maximum.
you mentioned about the W12, I think there has to be something special, and that W12 did that job. But in this case, there is nothing special. I think only the rear wheel drive does uh, puts in that element of speciality.
That is a very valid point. I think that is a very
Yeah,
valid point. The W12 was truly special. The V8 is in everything uh, Volkswagen and everything under
yeah,
that umbrella. And
yeah,
we have seen all iterations of it with the hybrid system, without the hybrid system. So the most interesting part about this would be that that will be without a hybrid system. And Bentley will somehow charge more for it. The next news is quite sad. Dahaitsu, which is a subsidiary of Toyota, used to make is still making a small sports car, which is a K vehicle. It's called the Dahaitsu Copen, and production is coming to an end. Uh, the production will end in August of next year. So this is the last year of the Copen being a thing. The sad part is that it's one of the last of its kind. We have not seen many K cars come out of Japan recently. For those who are not very into the Japanese K car market, the last sports car I think we saw was the Honda S660. Uh, the K car regulations obviously mean that the engines are 660 cc in size, but the Honda S660 was discontinued in 2022. So this is the same type of vehicle which you might have seen the Honda Beat, the Suzuki Cappuccino, and it's also the very famous AutoZam AZ1. And I think there should be a lot of a lot more of these types of cars in the market. Again, it's very specific to the Japanese market, but in whenever we get these sort of cars, it's always interesting to see. So now even the Japanese K market is mundane and boring, and there are no small little sports cars which will be sold there.
I think Dahaitsu should have gone the Honda way and made an small electric version of their K car, like the small Honda E, I guess they call it the Honda E.
They could have done that, but we are forgetting that Daihatsu is owned by Toyota. And they are not the most interested in going all electric. But again,
Yeah,
it's quite sad news that this is happening.
yeah. So moving on to another Porsche news, another Porsche Restomod, but it's not a 911 this time.
I'm glad it's not
Uh,
911. Okay.
it's based on a Porsche Carrera GTS 904 from the 60s. It will be made by Aerfal Automotive. It's a Dutch company, a Dutch Restomod company. Uh, it will be built on the 914 chassis with several modern upgrades. Multimatic will work on reinforcing its chassis. Tuthill is going to make its suspension setup, and other components from Brembo, Michelin, and BBS, of course. And most importantly, the legendary Flat 8 engine is going to make a comeback. It is rumored that Cosworth is working on it, and it will be expanded from the original 2-liter, to a 4-liter displacement, and might put out around 400 horsepower. And I must say that it looks beautiful.
I think the same. It looks amazing from the photos that we have seen.
Yeah,
It's stunning. It almost looks like the older GT40, uh,
yeah.
the Ford GT40.
Especially from the front, like the straight line at
Exactly.
the
The
front.
silhouette is very
Yeah,
similar. Again, both are cars from a similar era.
yeah,
But for once, there is a new resto mod that is not a 911. I'm so bored of seeing 911 resto mods. And this feels interesting. And the engine, 400 horsepower in such a light chassis, and a flat 8. We have not seen a flat 8, I think, uh, for eternity. And this would
yeah.
be something. I think this would be a great vehicle. Can't wait to actually see the car alive.
Same.
Then, moving on, we have some news from MKBHD. So, a very popular tech YouTuber. You might know, you might not know him because you might know him. Everyone knows MKBHD. He talked about his Tesla Roadster reservation in a recent podcast. He had paid $50,000 as a reservation fees, and he just cancelled his reservation, and he has gotten back $45,000. The $5,000 initial fee was not returned to him, and they definitely calculated the amount if he would have put it on Tesla stocks, which was a crazy amount. It was, I think, more than $750,000 in the amount of time
Wow.
that the car car has taken to not
Could,
arrive
could,
still.
could have could have bought a GT3 RS.
Could have actually bought a lot of things for the same.
Yeah,
That's nearly $1 million, I think, and it could have bought him a lot of things, maybe a house even. Uh,
yeah.
the interesting part is that the Tesla Roadster was announced in 2017. It would nearly be a decade, and it was promised. It was promised. The initial lot was promised to be actually be delivered in 2020. Obviously, 2020 happened. A lot of things happened in 2020, but
Yeah.
the car is still not here. It's 2025 now. Uh, I don't, and we can't see the car in the inevitable future either. Has not been a working final production model which would be sold to the public still. And I don't know how many people are still stuck with their reservations, who have paid to Tesla but have not received their cars yet.
Hmm. Moving on, there has been a recall from Kia, but not for what you might think about. 39,536 vehicles from the model year 2021 to 2023 have been recalled. The Kia Sorento. And this is what the NHTSA report reads. I'm going to read it. Due to suspected wire harness supplier quality issue, the connection between the blower motor resistor and connector can overheat when using the HVAC system on fan speed 3 while the ignition is on. In rare cases, this condition may lead to a fire. So in essence, you can do everything, just don't put your fan speed on level 3.
That's very specific. Don't put
So
the, the Kia Sorento owners would be frightened that if they put their fan speed on 3, their car might catch on fire.
yeah, so the reason that they state is uh, the resistor that they used has thinner than required wiring gauge. Uh, so if you own a Kia Sorento and if you want to know if your car falls in the same category, you can check it on the NHTSA website.
Okay, moving on. Don't put your Kia Sorento's aircon on number 3. Blower, blower number 3. Moving on, Hertz will now sell its cars online. So Hertz, a very popular rental car brand, has partnered with Amazon to sell its cars. Now, the cars will have a warranty, and everyone will get personalized payment options which they have partnered with Amazon, and there are all these little things. But again, Hertz is still selling cars, and there are quite. I looked at their inventory, a lot of good deals in terms of EVs to be had. Not really things like a Volvo XC40 is still quite expensive on Hertz website. Uh, Especially the luxury SUVs, the IC powered luxury SUVs are quite expensive. But I think there are quite a lot of deals that are going on with EVs that one can get a actual good bang for their bucks.
Hmm. I mean, considering the pace at which Amazon is getting into new businesses, Hertz should just sell their inventory to Amazon, and then Amazon will take care of everything. Maybe
I
they'll
think
just start their own rental car company.
I think Amazon might do a better job. overall running
Yeah,
rental car company and even selling cars. They have been selling things for quite a while now. I think they can sell a
yeah.
bunch of cars also.
So next news again from Europe. Uh, Sad news for car enthusiasts. Another hot hatch is dying. Ford has pulled the plug on the Focus ST.
That's that's heartbreaking.
After 20 long years, production has officially ended in September 2025. The reasons that Ford stated um, are that they want to focus on SUVs and pickup trucks because they have higher profit margins. And they want to channel their resources into developing hybrid and electric vehicles. And there, there are no successors planned yet, but uh, the enthusiast in me is living in the delusion that when they work on these new hybrid powertrains, we might get a hybrid powered Focus ST in the future.
Or what they could be working on is a SUV which is based on this Focus platform and it's raised a little from the ground, and then that would have an ST version, and that would be
That is highly likely. That is a lot more
that,
likely, but yeah,
that is going to happen. So this means that we just have three hot hatches left. I
yeah,
think it's or four hot hatches left. There are quite it's a very small number. So there is the GR Corolla, there is the Volkswagen GTI, Golf GTI, and then there is also the Honda Civic Type R, and I think the Mini Cooper S can be considered
Which-
in the
yeah,
pool as well. But the Hyundai i30N is dead. The Focus ST is also dead. The
yeah.
Subaru WRX STI is also dead. The Mitsubishi Evo has been dead for the uh, for a very long time, and I don't think there are any more very except for the hyper hatches. There are no hot hatches that are actually left in the market.
Hmm.
So that is quite sad because these were the actually accessible fun cars that enthusiasts could buy.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, moving on. A very interesting McLaren has come up for sale, and this McLaren has a very interesting history. So, this is chassis number 014 of the McLaren F1. It was initially owned by Sultan of Brunei. And it then went to a collector in the UK and later was owned by David Clark, who is the former director of McLaren cars. And it changed hand couple more times in between. In 2006, it was overhauled by McLaren, where it was repainted into its current color, which is iris white, and it also had the high downforce kit added to it, and the total cost of all this work was around $500,000. Only 8 McLarens exist with the HDK kit. Uh, Interestingly, Lewis Hamilton also signed this vehicle in 2007. It has around 13,000 miles and it is being sold along a Gordon Murray T50 hypercar as well. So
Mhm.
very interesting car. Has a very rich history. It's not a one delivery mileage hypercar which has been stored in a collection for the like good of a three. I think for the last 3 decades. 1991 is when the McLaren F1 came out, and I think this will break all records when it goes to auction in December. I think this will sell for big
Which has
money.
been, which was the last, how much was the
I think the
last
last
McLaren
F1,
option?
I think the last F1 went for $21 million. This,
Ah,
this,
okay.
This, I think
And
this
especially with the story of the Sultan and the
exactly
former
the
director of
Sultan.
McLaren vehicles.
The
Yeah.
Sultan has had pretty interesting cars over the years, and his cars have been regarded as uh, one of the, like, the collection was so mysterious for such a long time, and everyone has just assumed what all cars have existed in his collection. And it's not very often that a car comes out of that collection and is sold. So this is going to be one of the very interesting sales of this
Hmm.
year. This would probably be the most expensive car sold in 2025 or even this decade, I think.
So, moving on to the next news. Uh, Police in California tried to ticket a Waymo driverless taxi. Uh, no human, the police department stated that because human drivers were involved, no official tickets could be issued. The department also said that it has alerted Waymo about this incident, and hopefully the reprogramming will keep it from breaking the same rules in the future. It might break newer, different rules, but it won't break the same rules.
Imagine being the police officer who walked to a car which took an illegal U-turn and there is no driver in the driver's seat.
Yeah,
It's it's actually quite funny.
yeah, but
We
this is
we
actually a serious issue. I mean, it could have been a serious offense. There have been stories in the past
It could have
of
been a
drivers.
crash if the
Yeah,
the cars were moving at higher speeds and they were in a situation. I don't know how Waymo will react to this. Even Tesla will be rolling out their robo taxis. I don't know how they will get on with this news. Uh, Obviously, this is quite interesting how the law enforcement and the companies will act. I think the lawyers at these companies will be working overtime if if things like these keep happening. Uh, interesting, interesting news coming
future.
from interesting future, right? So that's it, I guess, for this week's news. Uh, we'll see you next week. Uh, uh, Bye bye, I guess.
Bye bye. Peace.
Peace.